Hey, what's up everybody? It's Chris Kunz with the Rich Casno Real Estate Group. On today's episode of Real Estate Simplified, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. We're gonna go from the buying side to talking about something on the selling side and what projects, upgrades, improvements you can do to your home that's going to net you the highest return on investment. So any upgrade, improvement that you do to a property ultimately is going to add value to it on the back end. The bigger question is, where can you put your money specifically where you're going to net more money in terms of value than what you've invested into that project? And there's a few projects that we typically recommend that are going to allow you to accomplish this goal. So when we're talking about the exterior of a property, the biggest thing that you can do is paint. And not only painting the actual exterior of the property, but something as small as painting a front door can add a ton of value in terms of curb appeal to a property and ultimately net you more money when you decide to sell your house. A couple other things that you can do on the exterior of the property, and we typically try and focus those investment efforts on the front part of the property. Right? Where the curb appeal is, where a buyer who's driving up to potentially purchase the property is gonna get that instant wow factor, which is what we're trying to provide. So paint, we're also talking about things like low maintenance landscaping, which is not only going to provide a nice aesthetic, but it's also drought tolerant, which is gonna save you money on your water costs on a monthly basis. Third thing that we might recommend is replacing the garage door. Or again, replacing the garage door gives it that fresh look. It's gonna make the house pop compared to others in the neighborhood. And it's a project that typically we see buyers getting value out of in the back end when they decide to sell it. Now, when we transition into the interior of the property, typically what we find is that the large scale projects, full kitchen, bathroom renovations, you're typically not going to see that return on investment on the back end. It's the smaller scale projects in those spaces where we typically see sellers or owners have more success when they're looking to add value and net the highest ROI on the back end. And those small scale projects in areas like kitchens and bathrooms would be refacing, sanding, restaining cabinets, replacing things like hardware, or even doing a replacement of the appliance package. Now, when you're doing these improvements, you really want to make sure that they continue the flow in that space. You don't ever want to do improvements or upgrades to a space that are going to make it feel choppy. You want to make sure that all the finishes tie together with one another to create a beautiful, all-encompassing space. When we go into the bathrooms, adding vanities not only adds more storage to the space, but it also boosts the aesthetic and gives it more of a luxury feel. And again, we can also talk about paint on the interior as well. A nice fresh coat of paint makes the property feel and look cleaner. And really, when you're looking to sell a property or add value to it, the cleanliness of the property in general is going to net you the highest value on the back end when you decide to sell it. Ultimately, you want a buyer to walk into a space and think to themselves, I don't have to do anything to this in order to make it mine and in order to enjoy it. That's what's going to net you the highest amount of value on the back end of a property, but you need to make sure that you're strategic about the projects that you're investing your money in. So if you have any other questions about where you might want to put your money next in terms of home improvements, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me a DM. Would love to have some conversations with you guys. Otherwise, if you would like a list of vendors that we know and trust that myself and Rich have been developing over the last 16 plus years that he's been in the business, let me know. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys tuning into this week's video. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see everybody soon. Stay safe out there.